Greetings, I'm Demonac, and it's arena time.
Alright, I'm starting another arena run. I've been starting to get my constructed decks together a little bit, but I think before I start trying out ranked, what I really need to do is get together 1,600 dust so I can buy myself a legendary of my choice. And then by that time I should have isolated what I want as my main constructed deck, and then I'll see what I can do in ranked. But that's going to take a lot of arena actions, unless I get really lucky and get a legendary that is awesome. So let us start off here. Now I want to get some wins again. I think like priests are very good, I've seen, but they're more like a constructed thing to me. As nice as their power is, they're very strong constructed, but I think for arena I really want the Druid's cards. Power is okay because it can still work as removal, and their cards are potentially awesome, although it really depends what I get. Alarm Bot, not awesome. But here, this is a tough choice already, because Defender of Argus is actually super good. It's like 2 things with taunt, and 5 attack, and 5 toughness, potentially. So, I noticed from watching the tournament that this is what a lot of the pros have 2 of these in every deck. I actually crafted myself some out of dust. I pretty much have 2 in every deck. On the other hand, this is removal, and it's really awesome because it's either AoE or strong single target removal or burn against your opponent. So I've got to take the Starfall. Removal wins arenas. And speaking of which, I don't like you, and you are pretty good removal. You're not my favorite kind to go to attack with the hero, but it comes with 4 armor, and you get the 4 armor whether you use it all in that attack or not, so that's fine. You are weak. You are actually pretty okay. I mean, 4-5 for 5 not that big, but restore 2 health to yourself and any damaged minions can be strong. I'm going to take the Ogre Magi instead, though, because he's more offensive. He's just pure offense. Wild Growth is pretty good. The problem is you draw this later in the game and it doesn't help you much. It really does accelerate you, but I'd rather have the stuff to play. I don't want to draw this instead of a creature most of the time. Maybe stupid to say that. I mean, I've been in big trouble because someone else accelerated their deck this way, but yeah, I want this in Senjin's Shieldmaster, because taunt is good. Alright, Innervate is another thing. This can super accelerate you. I mean, this is a double coin, right? But when you draw this, you're not drawing something else. It makes me a little bit antsy, but this time I think I'm going to take this. Even though the other one's permanent acceleration, like the Wild Growth gives you a real mana crystal. This just gives you 2 mana. But you have to spend 2 to get that mana crystal. It comes in empty. So it actually slows you down that turn. It's an investment in the future, which in real life is the way I like to operate. But in this game, I'd rather have the short, large burst that could potentially just win me a game by getting me a crazy early start, rather than that investment, which often I don't know when to play it, and I end up not playing it, and it screws me up. The chance at that again, Moonfire is really weak. I don't like that. I mean, yeah, you can have a bunch of spell power and get a whole bunch of free damage, but it still costs you a card for only 1 base damage. And Ironbeak is amazing. Amazing. This is another hard one. Acolyte of Pain is worth basically always 1 card, and there's a reasonable chance you can get 2 cards out of him, even without any buffs, just depending on what your opponent has in play. Unlike a mage, I can't attack my own guy with my power, so that's too bad. Savage Roar is almost as good as Bloodlust, and it costs 2 less. So, like this, I think Bloodlust is minions only. This actually gives +2 attack to my hero as well, so that's another thing that can... They're always, if I have 1 minion out, that's 2 things that are getting the bonus that can attack. An Abusive Sergeant, though, he's also very efficient, and he causes a lot of beatdown. This is a hard choice. I think I'm going to have to take the Savage Roar, because that's another one that could be a game winner. It really wants to give me Wild Growth. I don't understand. Soul of the Forest is such a weird card. This will never give you the advantage. What this does is that if you have the advantage already, if you have, or at least if you have parity or something, if you have several creatures out, and you play this, this makes it harder for you to lose your edge. That is a really weird use for a card in 4 mana, though. I'm not very fond of it. They're probably good combos, but well, they're definitely combos. Are they good combos? I don't know. Raid Leader I find pretty strong in this. I'm actually sort of tempted to take the Wild Growth out of these 3, but no, I'm going to take the Raid Leader because I want to have creatures. I've got a lot of non-creature stuff. You are pretty interesting. Like, I can see why people use you. I like him more when I'm a priest, when he might damage my Northshire Cleric, so I can do that. He might damage a Berserk, like a creature with Berserk, like in Rage. I don't have any of that stuff. I think, you know, she's just a rush card, and I don't like one-cost rush cards. I'd rather have something bigger. Because if you draw this late in the game, you're like, ah, that could have been a real card, and it's not. This guy is strong, though. We got that. We have, this is our standard rare, Ancient of War or Ancient of Lore. Wow. Mountain Giant is not very good, I find, but Ancient of Lore is amazing. Ancient of War is fine, too. I mean, a 5/10 with Taunt is a fantastic creature. I mean, it has enough power to kill whatever attacks you almost all the time, and enough to survive one attack for sure, and often to survive more than one attack, or take a lot of effort to take him down. But you can't beat the Ancient of Lore. He draws you 2 cards. And in some rare situation, you might choose 5 health. But 2 cards! Easily. Yeah, 2 cards and a 5/5. So good. We've got Ironbeak. Got Overmagi. I mean, the Brewmaster, I'm starting to get a lot of respect for the Brewmaster, because attacking with a creature that takes damage and then returning it to your hand is already not bad, and it can be super good if it is a card that has a come into play ability. But Mad Bomber's random. I'm going to take the Acolyte of Pain this time, because I want that. I want to have card drawing. I don't really have any card drawing yet, and I have 1 negative card drawing, because this is like -1 card basically. You're spending more than 1 card to play 1 card, typically. I like this guy. He's amazing, but I don't have a lot of fat stuff yet, so I'm going to take Captain Fat there. Boulder Fat. And you're kind of removal-y, but you're not really very strong removal, and you're not a very strong creature. Before I had played the game, I thought these guys were fantastic. I'm actually kind of iffy on him. I'm going to take the Lord of the Arena. Wisp is obviously just not worth the card. Another Innervate, that's kind of interesting, but I think I know this would increase my chances, but it also increases my chances of drawing dead later on. It really wants to give me Mad Bombers and Innervates and the Wild Growth. I don't understand. But Ironbark Protector is amazing. Now I have lots of fat in my deck, and I need to start getting earlier plays. Not here, though, with the Worthless Chicken, the Worthless Watcher, and the Stampeding Kodo, who is actually fine and actually pretty good in this format. Oh, man. Maybe I should have taken all those Wild Growths. I'm getting a lot of fat stuff. This is a bad card. Yeah, in a situation, it can do the job for cheap, but giving your opponent 2 cards is horrible unless your opponent's dying that turn, which is valuable. I mean, you pay 1, get rid of a taunt creature, and kill them. That's okay, but how often is that the case compared to how often you draw this and would rather have something that doesn't give you huge negative card advantage? So I'm just having a hard time because I now actually have a really high casting cost curve on my deck, and this guy would just make it higher. But on the other hand, he's so strong, if I get to the point that I'm playing these guys, they can take the game back for me a lot of time. This, however, would give me something fast, which I have virtually none of, and it has a late game benefit. I can't not choose the Protector, but I'm probably screwing myself now. Deck's going to be too fast. Yeah, I'm definitely not taking the Boulder Fist Ogre. I don't like these guys, and especially since I don't have any buffs yet. Ironfur Grizzly is okay. I used to not think they were very good, and then I realized I was playing Corsairs in Rogue decks. The Corsair gets cheaper for every power of your weapon, and I'm like, oh, Rogue comes with a weapon, so that's awesome. Rogue comes with a weapon with 1 power, which actually just turns the Corsair into a bear, an Ironfur Grizzly. So unless you have any bigger weapons, you might as well just use this guy. Spellbreaker is awesome, and these other cards are mediocre at best. This, I think, is an extra rare. I'm on card 18. It's usually after card 19. But they're all bad, and it's the same... this tried to give me this 3 times, and this twice now, and this 3 times. It really does get, the random number generator really does feel like it's getting stuck on stuff. This is butt useless. This is normally what I would take, but I have so much fatness here, I'm actually going to take the stupid Alarmobot. If you're counting on the Alarmobot, they're going to kill it. And if you're not in a good position for it, then they're going to ignore it. It's just like Murphy's Law. I have enough expensive stuff that Pint-Sized Summoner is much more useful for me than another Kodo at this point. I need to lower my casting cost curve. Oh. He's okay. This guy is super good. Like, he's very flexible. You pay 1 more than this, and you get a 4/6 taunt, with the option of instead making him a 4/4 charge, which is removal. Very strong. On the other hand, Starfire does a lot of damage, and you draw a card. Drawing cards is amazing, but it's kind of expensive. I really need cheaper stuff. If I get cheaper stuff that draws cards, that's fine, but I'm going to take this guy. I need cheaper cards now. Yeah, I'm at the point. Look at my casting cost curve. I've got 2 8s, 7, 6, 6, 5, 5, 5, 5. Out of these, normally I would always take Druid of Claw over Bluegill Warrior, right? Because he's giving you a lot more power for the card. But in this case, I'm going to take him because I need more cheap cards, and his charge means he still kind of functions as removal late game. Spell damage, I have some spells. Actually, only Starfall that works for this, because Bite isn't affected by spell power because it doesn't do damage directly. This guy's kind of removal-y but expensive. I need this guy for the cheap flexibility. If I had more spells, I would actually take Dalaran Mage. I think he's perfectly fine, but this is flexible and good. I don't have weapons for you. I do have a lot of creatures that I can buff with this, and I have a lot of fat creatures, but you know what? I have so little that's cheap. I'm not against the Gold Star Footman. Normally I hate 1-cost cards, but even, no matter how late in the game it is, you drop him down, he's going to take an attack or some kind of action from your opponent to get rid of him. He's usually going to cost them a card or an attack. And late in the game, even late in the game, that one attack, before they can get through to you, can be worth it. Mark of Nature is pretty strong. I often find it feels kind of expensive, but giving +4 health and taunt to a creature is really good, and you can use it to do +4 damage if you need to. It is permanent. I've been starting to even this out a little bit better. I've got 4s that are creatures, 3s, and 2s. Okay, I've got an okay amount of stuff there. I'm going to take the Mark of Nature and make something better. Wisp bad. This is such a tough choice. I could have had like 4 Iron Barks now, could I? Or I don't know. I don't see. I think this is the 3rd one. I don't see how I can not take this guy. I even have a stupid Alarmobot. I'm gonna get screwed because I'm gonna be drawing them all the time early game, but they're so powerful. I'm gonna take it anyway. Out of these, I'm almost tempted to take Healing Touch because I'm gonna take a lot of early game beatdown. But if I take the River Croc, I might take slightly less early game beatdown. So he wins. 4 Iron Bark Protectors. That is funny, but no, if I take the Novice Engineer, that's something else I can play early on, and later in the game, it's only 2 mana, and it draws me another thing that I can play. It's another thing that I can maybe buff with Power of the Wild or Mark of Nature. I'm going to take the Engineer over the Iron Bark this time. I have no weapons. You're still kind of removal. You're also kind of removal. That's a tough choice. This guy's amazingly efficient. This guy is much, much less efficient, but he's very direct. He comes out, he does his damage, and can potentially kill something. Whereas this guy needs something else that's able to attack. I'm going to take another Bluegill. We'll see what happens. And Secret Keeper is useless for me. Mana Wraith. My deck's kind of slow. This is starting to look good. But no, I have to take Keeper of the Grove, because he does 2 damage or silences. He's so excellent for the cost. He's the perfect hybrid of that like 4/2 Hunter guy for 5 and the Spellbreaker, basically. Yeah, he's so awesome. So there is my fat Druid deck, which is normally what I like. I got nervous somewhere in the middle because it was getting so fat it might actually be too much. I just have to survive long enough to start plopping down all this junk. I did not get as much removal as I'd like, so we're going to see what happens here. I did, in the end, I think I have a fair number of 2-cost plays. I'm weak in the mid-game, I think. This deck just doesn't have that many 3- and 4-cost powerhouse creatures, which is where a lot of games are won. But on the other hand, if I can survive that phase and get to the point where I'm dropping a 6, and then I'm dropping an 8, and then I'm dropping a 6, that's comeback territory, especially since a lot of my fatties have taunt. Oh, worthy opponent, you are a shaman. Alright.
I must protect.
That is a pretty fast hand. I'm going to get rid of the Kodo because I'd much rather have... If this was a 4-cost creature, I'd probably keep it, but no. Give me something cheaper. You're not cheaper. You're way better, but you're not cheaper. Which means that the Kodo would actually probably have been better in this early in the game. But whatever. Eventually I'll get to play an Ancient of Lore, and that's pretty amazing. And I get the Kodo anyway. Hooray! So, with my going first power, I deploy a pretty crappy 1-2 guy. He's sort of bad, but I don't know, like, Taunt is a good ability. See, he can trade that for me, but I can just attack him first. And actually, I have an Innervate in my hand now, so next turn I can already play the Kodo. That's pretty awesome. I can hit my opponent for 1, I could do another 2 with the Bluegill, or I think I'm going to use my Shapeshift and kill his guy so he has less options. Fewer options. And it doesn't spend a card. I mean, I can always play the Bluegill later. I guess the Bluegill would have been protected by the Goldshire Footman, so maybe I should have just done that. I don't know. It would be one more thing in play. It depends what he does. He has a coin and I don't. So I can actually innervate out a Stampeding Kodo, which would kill his thing. This is maybe not the strongest thing to kill. The Kodo is only a 3/5. It's not my favorite 5-cost creature, but it is killing his thing. I think I've got to do that. I mean, it's tempting to wait until I have 5 mana and play the Ancient of Lore. Do I want to try and hold out till then? Because my Footman loses pretty badly to this thing. But now I got to explore that option. I play the Bluegill, I hit my opponent for 3, and then he hits back, he kills the Footman, obviously. But he'd still have to do something else to kill this. I'm going to try and wait until I have 5 mana and deploy the Ancient of Lore. I can always play this next turn if I have to. Although it would be really annoying to have my mana work out that poorly. Okay. What have you got for me? Innervate makes me feel strong, actually. I can do something crazy if I have to. If he somehow got out a giant army with his coin, I could Starfall it, you know. If he somehow got out one single huge creature with his coin, I could Starfall it. I've got options. Force Lightning is unfortunate. I was just asking for that. It's like the perfect card for killing my stuff. It will set back his mana for next turn. I need to draw a 4-cost creature. Or I guess a really good 2-cost one. But a 4-cost creature would be ideal to use my mana. Ugh. Tiger is not ideal. Okay. As much as I want to wait for the Ancient of Lore, if I coin out one of these 5-cost guys now, then I will be able to play a 5-cost guy for real next turn. If I play the Kodo, it only kills minions with 2 or less attack, so it would kill the Crocodile, I'd have a 3/5, and he would have a 4/2. If I play this guy, it'll kill nothing, I'll have a 4/4 and a 2/2. He can trade for the 4/4 and kill the 2/2, so I'm better off with the Kodo. I like the early Ancient of Lore, it would have been awesome, but I think I'm going to have to. It's just one more turn, but I'm going to take a lot of damage. He'll get out more stuff, and then I'll probably want to Starfall, and I won't, no, I'm just going to Kodo. I probably should have last turn. Well, in hindsight, I definitely should have. If I was going to do this now, I would have been better off doing it last turn. It would have survived the Fork Lightning, even. What have you got, Shaman? What do you have? This is the question. So close to getting a 5/5 and drawing 2 cards. But I think I would have lost too much ground if I had waited for that. It'll come out eventually. Right now, my Starfall would kill all his guys. If he chooses to just hit me for 4. He chose not to attack at all. That's even better. I Starfall, it kills all his guys. And then I just get a free turn of hitting him, basically. 1 turn closer to Ancient of Lore. I mean, it might be nice to save this for more stuff, but right now I really have the advantage there. Yeah, I think I'm going to kill off his guys. Why not? It may be a waste. I don't have that much other removal left, but it gives me the advantage right now.
Well played.
He says well played. We'll see. Killing this Stealth Tiger is nice. So it has the advantage. It's going to make him feel really irritated with himself for not attacking last turn. That's kind of obnoxious. Starfall wouldn't have been as good against them, though. Okay. So I could play the bear and attack with my Kung Fu. That's really not a very strong play. I can play the Lord of the Arena, and he can trade both his guys and kill it. I don't think that's the end of the world. I don't like his guys very much. Actually, if I play the Lord of the Arena and then I kill one, then he will be in a pretty poor place. Yeah, let's do that.
The gates are open.
Do that, and then I'll kill his bug here. Prairie Dragon. Now I have way more stuff out than him, and he's going to have to do something significant to get rid of the Lord of the Arena. He can't even attack the Kodo with this thing if he wanted to. He's going to Lava whatever, the like 6 damage attack spell. I don't know. Probably playing Ancient of Lore next turn, although if he somehow reversed the situation, I might have to play the Taunt Grizzly. But this is looking decent right now. He never did get ahead of me in cards, despite my Innervate, and despite his ability to generate tokens. Getting the Taunt one is pretty good. Ah, really? Now he can kill this. That sucks. Ooh. Yep, good play, good play.
Well played.
Okay, I could play a Druid of the Claw and Kung Fu something. That doesn't really seem that appealing. I definitely want to kill off his Flame Tongue Totem, but I can't because he has Taunt. That's pretty annoying. So if I played a Charged Druid, I could take out his whole army. I would not be playing the Ancient of Lore, but if I already have good plays, that will give me board control again. You know what? That's what I'm going to do.
Where shall I strike?
Cat form. It's always better if you can play bear form, but the reason I'm playing him is because cat form is helping me out there. And I'll gain 1 armor, which is okay. So next turn I can choose between drawing 2 cards and getting a 5/5, or getting out a pretty big army here. 3/3 Taunt, plus a 4/4 and a 2/2. That's a lot of power and toughness to put out. He drew a card. That's good for him at this stage of the game, as long as he can cast something else. That was a pretty good turn for him. My army's not very strong compared to those. So, yeah, still better off with this and that. I don't have that many spells to boost with him. My 1 damage from Kung Fu would only leave me with 6 mana, which is much worse. Because I need at least 7 mana to do anything useful.
I wonder.
If I don't kill off his stuff, he's going to trade and kill off mine pretty well. On the other hand, I can force him to do that, hit him for 7, and still play a big fat army, including a taunt creature. So, I'm liking that play. That's got to be a little intimidating, unless he has a lightning storm, in which case he's going to be laughing his ass to the bank. laughing his ass off all the way to the bank. Because Lightning Storm would kill off... It has a 50-50 chance to kill this, and it'll kill off almost everything else. That is one cheap Sea Giant, and he got the Lightning Storm. That's horrible. He won the coin flip in the wrong place. He lost the coin, like it does randomly 2 or 3 damage, and he, unfortunately for him, got the 2 damage on my 3 toughness creature. He has still wiped out my entire army and got himself an 8/8 though. So he really turned the tables on me there, stupid Lightning Storm. Ah, Savage Roar, if I had my army out, I could have killed him, basically. With me doing 2 and all my guys doing +2, would have wiped him out. I mean, casting this would let me kill his taunt creature, but it's obviously going to be better to do that later. Let's see if I can draw something from my Ancient of Lore. Draw 2 cards. The 8/8's going to be a problem, though. Okay, not anything I can use. That's rather poor. I'm going to do this mostly to armor up, because hitting his totem for 1 is not very useful. It does mean that if I have 2 mana next turn, I can kill the totem. He can't play another. He can't get another taunt totem, because the random totems will only give him ones he doesn't have.
I hope you like my invention.
Drawing a card, that's not good. This game's not going as well as I thought it would be. His virtually free Sea Giant was very good. Sea Giant is pretty good. The Molten Giant is very good. I don't like the cards in your hand one. I think he's bad. I'm gonna wear down my Ancients, but my Ancient's killing off more than 2 creatures. That's pretty awesome. It killed 2 creatures.
That was a mistake.
Yes, that was a mistake. I killed 2 creatures. It doesn't even have taunt. Like, he could have just ignored it. That was a pretty big mistake. On the other hand, his board position is still fine. He's got an 8/8. I don't have a solution to it. He still has a taunt creature. I will soon have an 8/8 of my own, though, is what it looks like. Now, with Bite... With Bite and this guy, I could kill off his 8/8. I would take 4 damage, which would not be that bad, because you have basically nothing left. Do I want to do that instead of the 8/8, which he can just kill with his own 8/8, and he might have a Hex? I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, so Bite would cost 4. I would have 6 mana left, which is not enough to play 2 useful things. Savage Roar doesn't make this guy big enough to kill that, even then I'd still have to spend more mana so that I could attack somehow and kill the taunt thing. I do still have to kill the taunt thing, that's going to be a problem. Yeah, actually, I can't do what I wanted. I can't just bite and attack that, because even if I use my Kung Fu, I can't attack twice myself, and something has to hit this first. I don't have a something out there to do that. Okay then. It looks like we're going to trade 8/8 for 8/8. I'm going to play you. Armor up. Kung Fu. And I'm just going to hit you for 5. Force him to deal with this. I mean, he can just trade his Engineer after he trades these guys. I'm hoping he doesn't have a Hex. If this guy takes out the Giant, that's fine at this stage. Best I can hope for. The worst would be if he can somehow make his Giant survive. Because even if he can give it 1 more toughness, I don't have anything good for attacking it next turn. I would have to draw a charged creature. Now I would have to draw 2 charged creatures, because that's bigger than I can take out with my Kung Fu. I'd be in a bad place if he could do this in such a way that his Giant survives. As long as he just trades his Giant, I'm fine. If he doesn't attack with his Giant, then he's messing up, because he needs to stop this thing from attacking him. He only has 10 health. I would flat out kill him next turn with Savage Roar. Yeah. Okay. That is a good move for him. He takes out my forces. He's even things up a lot, and he still has his mana. Let's see what he plays. A Raptor, which is fine. That's more power worth of creatures. Does he have another thing he can play? He either ran out of cards or ran out of time. Or both. Now what do I do? If I bite to kill the totem... like, that's sort of a waste of the bite, although I still get the armor. And it would leave me with 6 mana, with which I could not play very many things. On the other hand, this is not enough to do that. It'd be a waste of my Savage Roar. Even though it would more efficiently take out the totem, I then wouldn't have a Savage Roar. But I would still have a bite, and I would be able to play more guys. Oh man, I don't know. I guess I gotta leave this totem for now. He might just get another one if I don't. So I'll just play as much stuff as I can. I can't use any. I can't properly remove any of his creatures with my Kung Fu because of the taunt totem. We'll just do that. Sorry about that. I'm always getting interrupted. Very poor. So he forked lightning. That is horrible. So he's wiped out all my forces without doing that much. I still have my 4/1 until he trades for it. Hurting me a lot. Not killing my creature may have been an error. We'll see. Because it means I can hit 2 things when I Savage Roar or Bite. Fire Elemental is bad, though.
What to do?
I'm low in health. If I Bite or Roar, and I play the Boulder Fist Order, that's all I can play. There's nothing really worthwhile I can kill with the Shapeshift, although it would mean he'd have to trade something better than the Searing Totem to get rid of my 4/1. Yeah. Actually, if I Savage Roar and Bite, that's giving me 5 attack, and I could take this out while attacking that with him. I'd take a small amount of damage because I wouldn't get to keep any of that armor. But that would only leave me with 4 mana, so I wouldn't really be able to play anything else good. That's no good. I need to play the Boulder Fist.
What you looking at?
So I'm pretty sure the answer is for me to bite something. Hit that. Bite the guy that can potentially enrage. And my army's mostly going to get crushed here, but I'm just trying to hang on at this point. Hang on until I draw another Ironwood Treefolk, because those guys are Ironwood Protectors are badass. That's no good. It's going to draw him another card. He can still totem this turn, and he can go for me directly because I don't have taunt. I'm thinking he's going to... Does he have a way to kill me?
The power of the wind.
Oh my god, I'm actually dead. There wasn't much I could do about it. Couldn't see that coming, and I wouldn't have been able to... If I had spent all that effort to kill him with my own attacks, I wouldn't have had anything good in play, so he would have got me the turn after anyhow. Well, that was pretty miserable. It seemed like that game was recoverable, but no, he just came out of nowhere and crushed me. Ooh. Well, we'll have to try and do better next time. Show some love to the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to Demonac Games for more Hearthstone Arena and Scrolls Judgment videos.